Good afternoon, welcome Athens-Clarke County Board of Elections and Voter Registration. April 8th, 4:34 PM at 2555 Washington Road in Athens, Georgia. First item on the agenda is to adopt it. Chair will entertain a motion.
A second.
Okay, motion, Ms. Till, I'm gonna give you that one. Second by Ms. Fambro. Okay. Next item on the agenda. Oh, thank you. All in favor of adopting the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, agenda is adopted. Next item on the agenda are the approval of March 11th regular meeting, right? Minutes?
Yes.
Yes, which are, can be found in the packet.
Have all the other minutes been approved and posted?
I just overheard a phone call. What's up with the
We
minutes?
have the improvements. I just was unaware of that, and they'll be posted tomorrow.
Thank you.
I missed it. What did you say? What happened?
Ms. Till, could you repeat your question? And Ms. McGowan, the director, interim co-director McGowan, would you please repeat the answer?
I said that we do have all of the approved minutes. I just wasn't aware that we had them, and they'll be posted on the website tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There's a motion on the floor or the floor is open for a motion to approve the March 11th minutes.
I'm sorry. I move that we approve the March 11th meeting, minutes for
Okay,
the March 11th meeting.
okay. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right. Motion, Ms. Fambro, second, Ms. Till. All those in favor of approving the March 11th minutes, say aye. All right. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Does not appear as a member of the public is here to make comment. Elsner is not with us today.
Check.
Trying to make sure we're. All right. Next item on the agenda is executive session. And Attorney Davis, how shall we proceed? What do I need to
So you'll
read?
need to get a vote to close the meeting to go into executive session, and you'll need to indicate the specific reason we're going into session or you're going into session, and then take a vote on.
Okay. So what if I read this agenda piece,
Yep, that's.
read that in its entirety, then the floor will be open for a motion.
Right.
Enter into executive session to discuss with legal counsel pending or potential litigation, settlement, claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the agency or any officer or employee, or in which the agency or any officer or employee may be directly involved as authorized by OCGA 50-14-2. Floor is open for a motion to enter into executive session. Okay? We have a second. Second. A motion, Ms. Till, second, Mr. Shirley. All those in favor? Okay, have we stopped the screen? That vote is unanimous.
Start the video.
Rocky's elders out there first. He got caught up in the traffic, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, we've come out of executive session. Here to make a motion regarding what was discussed. Will you go ahead and read that motion to us? If you'd like to make it, you're welcome to do that.
Here, I move that we confirm and ratify the actions of legal counsel in agreeing to the stipulation requested by the U.S. Department of Justice for the Department of Justice to dismiss its claims in this pending lawsuit, 6th District AME Church et al. Versus Kemp et al.
Okay, motion, Mr. Shirley, do we have a second? Okay. Second, Ms. Briley. All those in favor say aye. Unanimous. That motion was ratified. Attorney, do I need to read this entire document? What? I think by the time you read it.
I don't think you need to read it out loud at all. I
Okay.
mean, you just need to sign it and, it needs to accompany the minutes to the executive session.
Okay. And this document is just saying we only discussed items pertaining to that particular legal case that was mentioned in the previous minute.
That's correct.
So, perfect. We will take care of that after the meeting. All right, next item on the agenda is the director's report.
Okay.
Looks like we're back at the beginning.
So the first thing we want to talk about is we held qualifying for the Winterville unexpired city council seat, April 1st through April 3rd, and 4 people qualified for that race. So that, contest will be going forward in our ballot.
Now, is that an open primary or would there potentially now be a run?
No, there won't be one. We're currently accepting applications for absentee ballots. That process began on March 31st. And that's absentee ballots for the June election. Okay, and then there are some important dates to read from the June election, just to keep everybody up to date. So May 19th is the registration deadline. You want to get your voter registration in before that. May 26th is the first day that we'll be able to mail out absentee ballots. May 27th is the day that advanced voting begins. And then advanced voting will run all the way through June 13th. And then election day is June 17th. And then we'll have our provisional ballots ready for you, or provisional ballots that were accepted on during the election. They'll be ready for you on June 20th. Okay, so just an update on our poll workers. We do have enough poll workers for this election. We're very thankful to everyone who decided to work in the middle of the summer for this election. And then I did want to mention one thing to you that came up that we thought was kind of a fun idea to happen at the meetings, but it's up to you guys if you want to do it. So a lot of times we talk to our counterparts in other counties, and we were talking to Jackson County about some things that they do at their board meetings. And not every meeting, but sometimes they'll have one of their staff members present like a short 10-minute training on some topic related to elections, just to get you guys more familiar with what we do. And if that's something that you would like, then we can start planning those for you guys. And then, you know, Rocky always meets with the directors before each election, so if you have a long agenda, obviously we wouldn't add something like that to it, but if you have a short agenda and there's space, then we will fill it with information for you.
Love it.
Okay?
Yeah, excellent.
All right. And I think,
Do we want to do the activity report?
yes, I gotta go backwards. I forgot that part. So it's Pam's turn to do the activity report, please.
Hello. Activity report for the month of March. We have a total of 86,849 eligible voters, of which 73,791 are active and 13,058 are inactive. We had a total cancellation this month of 194. 16 moved out of state, 38, canceled through the Jarvis portal. 4 others requested to be canceled, 53 deceased, and we had 83, felon removals. And, we also had for this month, as you can see, for the voter IDs that have decreased dramatically, we only had 9.
Single digits.
Yes. And, I'll turn it over to Ms. Audra for such question.
Good afternoon. For the month of March, we had 0 open records requests. And, as Lisa mentioned, we are receiving absentee ballot applications. There's some different things, that we got, information we got from our liaison at the Secretary of State's office. So this year is not a federal election year. So anyone who's requesting an absentee ballot, even if they're elderly or disabled, it will not be rollover. They will have to apply for a ballot for each election. So I'll emphasize that it's not rollover. You won't automatically get it. So you'll be doing an application for May to get an absentee ballot, and then you have to do another one for the for June, the first one in June. And then when November election comes, you'll have to apply again. And for the November election, I think the start date for taking applications is August 18th. Getting ready for November. And I know that's gonna probably confuse some people. So I will give you our number. The office number is 706-613-3150. And if your family or friends have questions about it, please call the office and the clerks will be able to assist you. So far, the clerks have only mailed out 6 requested applications. But we have not gotten any in. I have no new ones on Jarvis, and I don't have any uploaded on the absentee, by mail laptop.
Excuse me. We did have one, we tried
He came
right
today?
here before he came to the meeting.
I'm gonna be excited to put one on my exhibit. But that's all I have.
That's fine. All right. Does that conclude your report?
It does.
All right. Are there any questions for the staff?
I'm just curious to know if we have any update yet from the geofence from the voters.
Yes, we do. We provided the information to them, the current information, and they are working on updating it.
Great, thanks.
Okay. Next item is under old business, and that's the continuing discussion about visiting neighboring counties' elections and registration offices. And, Ms. Riley, do you have an update?
Well, those were the Jackson and Green were the only 2 counties that invited us openly, on the, through Lisa, I think on the email. I never did hear back from Oconee County. As far as facilities was going, there's been so much happening. I didn't know, and Mr. Saunders isn't here, if moving facilities or reworking or, moving things around, if that is government, Clarke County government budget, or if that would be dependent on a SPOS. Like if, say they decided that they wanted to use this building for, elections and all the pieces, instead of us split in 3 or 4 different buildings. Would any kind of move like that be dependent on Clarke County budget, or would it be dependent on a SPOS?
My understanding is probably the same as yours from working in SPOS. SPOS is just capital. It's not paying operations, it's not paying for staff, it's paying for tear down buildings, renovating, right, like tangible things, capital things, not,
Well,
right, not, and so, right, so things like buying trucks, paving roads, building a building. So it sounds like most of what I'm thinking about here
would be a splosh.
would be eligible for a spot.
Okay. It's probably another building or a new building. Okay. Okay. So, that's what I was wondering. And I was looking at all of the stuff that you had sent me, Adam, about previous splosh. And I'm used to doctor's orders that go like this, right? And I realized that this is, when you said years, I had to kind of hold my horses a little bit about how fast this could go and all the different processes and how it would go. So I would like to get together with you to, you know, look at, I don't even know how to start.
Okay.
But if somewhere we have some time, we can do that.
That was my question, so.
I would love to, that.
Okay, that would be great.
So we had a list of buildings that were government buildings that might be available. We also said that if we decided to take, Smith School over, that the government actually just kind of swaps buildings. I don't know if any actual cash or anything changes hands.
I know.
It would still cost money though to do those moves. And so that's why I was wondering about.
Mhm.
I think
When you
instead
say
of,
move, you mean the process of moving or the process of renovation or whatnot, all of it? All of it. So that's what I didn't know,
I'm gonna, go back to our retreat,
yeah.
and I think we need to think more big picture. What do we want? What's ideal? What's the perfect space? Instead of, well, we should have this school, we should move here, and we should do that. Let's come up with a nice concept, and then, we got a committee, 1, 2.
Yeah, yeah.
It's as big of a committee as we can have.
That's right, otherwise it's boring.
So, that's all I have on that. You two, have any comments?
Other than when you go into another building, it just, if it doesn't fit you, then there's always something that's not quite right or in place, so. I thought, so a new building, new building, new building.
All right, next item of business is new business. And update on elections bill passed in 2025, waiting to be signed into law.
Okay, so there were 3 bills that made it to that point, and we were following several election bills, but there were 3 that actually made it. So SB 199 is the state ethics commission bill. How it affects us is it'll change reporting responsibilities for candidates beginning in January 2027. Local candidates will be required to file campaign reports for the state ethics commission. The county election office will no longer handle those filings, which is something that, our state association helped lobby for. It'll definitely be better for the counties to pull that away from them. Yeah. And then HB 296, that was not specifically an election bill, but there was a piece in it that affects us. It's the use of digital driver's license for voting as ID is prohibited. So for the purposes of identification at a polling location, a digital driver's license will not be accepted. The driver's license has to be in a physical format.
Okay.
And then HB 426, that's about the nonpartisan election of magistrates and probate clerks. So magistrates are currently a partisan office, but they will no longer be that beginning July 2025. They'll run as nonpartisan. And I'm not sure I know all of the ins and outs of this, but from a meeting that we were on today with the legislative committee, they were talking about the fact that probate judges are mentioned in this bill. And even though it's going to the governor's desk, probate judges can't become a nonpartisan race until an amendment is signed. is passed for the Constitution. So there was, an HR, House Resolution 251 that was withdrawn, that was the proposal for that amendment.
What was the sale number on the one currently on?
HB 426. So we're awaiting further direction, how that will happen, and there should be some form of training coming from the Secretary of State's office about how to handle, the magistrate and the probate judge races going forward. And that's all. And, you know, we started out with a lot of election bills that, we have to give a big thank you to Crystal Reed in our office who handled tracking those bills for us and did a great job with that.
All right, let's move on. How about announcements? Adam, sorry, or Secretary Shirley, would you like to do?
Perfect. I have May 13th, 2025, 4:30 PM, 2555 Lexington Road will be our May regular meeting.
And then I'd just like to add that May 27th is the start of early voting for the June election.
And I have one thing, the May 13th meeting, because poll worker training will have already started by that time. We're gonna hold the meeting in the conference room across the hall.
Same address.
Same address
Across the
across the
hall.
hall.
Got it. Will there be signage on the door?
I-
Training in progress, do not enter,
We can make that happen.
even if it's a Sharpie. All right. You ready for your big moment?
I am.
All right. Floor is open.
I'd like to make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
We didn't even rehearse that. Do we have a second? Ms. Pembroke, all those in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye. 5:24.
Okay, get out of here.
When is my birthday? In March? Or you have it?
Don't figure out somewhere to go.